Welcome to KBS World Radio. You're now tuned in to Korea 24's Korea Book Club, where we explore the world of Korean literature. This is our weekend replay edition, playing back our book segment from Wednesday's show. We hope you enjoy it. I'm your host, Kwon Jang-woo. We have joining us in the studio now our literary critic Barry Welsh with another book for us to discover. Barry, hello, it's great to see you again.
Hello, it's great to be here.
So what do you have for us this week?
So today I'm very excited to introduce a fantastic book called Beasts of a Little Land. This is a debut novel by Kim Juhea. It was originally published in 2021 and it has recently been back in the news because it has just won a prestigious Russian Literature Award, the 2024 Yasnaya Polyana Literary Award for Foreign Literature. And the Korean title is Chagun Dangi Yasudul, and the translator is Park So-hyun. And the novel is a sweeping, swooningly romantic historical epic set during the Japanese occupation of Korea. It spans decades of political upheaval, war, and resilience.
Yes, this is interesting because we've had Juhea Kim on the show before, a couple of years ago now. Mm-hmm. It was just as The Beasts of a Little Land was being published in Korean, but it looks like it's continuing to make waves. And we should point out that, yes, as we've already hinted, this was a book that was originally written in English, which is unusual departure from what we usually do here, where we review Korean books that have been translated or that are in Korean. But we do this every once in a while on this segment as well. So can you remind us about Juhea Kim and this book?
Sure, of course. So Kim Juhea was born in South Korea and then moved to the United States at a young age. I'm not sure exactly how young, but she brings a unique or different perspective to her writing. So she studied art and literature at Princeton University, and she's worked in a variety of different roles as an environmental advocate, editor, translator, and so on. And this diverse professional background or variety of interests definitely comes through in the novel. Where she uses this deep understanding of Korean history and culture to create a very rich and immersive fictional world, sort of historical fictional world. And Beasts of a Little Land has been praised for its lyrical prose and for its evocative storytelling, and it was selected as a Best Book of the Year by multiple publications when it was originally published. And the novel is about the connections and unlikely friendships forged during Korea's turbulent 20th century, and it shows how extraordinary times impact ordinary lives. And through her characters' experiences, and there's a lot of different characters in this novel, Kim explores themes of survival, love, and loyalty under intense pressure, and she creates a personal and at the same time a sweeping narrative story. The Beasts of a Little Land, I thought it was fantastic and deeply enjoyable, and it's a book that gives us a window into Korean history and tells a timeless story of human resilience.
Right, so it is a period novel set in the early 20th century Korea, or at least it starts there. And as you said, it's a sweeping epic covering several decades, I understand. Yeah. Can you tell us more about the story?
Okay, sure. So Beasts of a Little Land, ultimately it's a story of survival, love and fortitude set against the backdrop of Korea under Japanese colonial rule. So it begins in the early 20th century, and at the heart of the novel, like I said, there's several main characters, but for me, the core of the novel is two of these main characters who are from vastly different backgrounds, but also similar in some ways. We have Jade, who is a young girl who's sold by her impoverished family to become a courtesan, and then Jung-ho, who becomes a street boy, a sort of a struggling homeless boy living on the streets of Seoul. They meet as children and they form an enduring connection that will shape their lives and have a big impact on what happens to them. Jade's journey takes her through the complex world of a high-class courtesan in Seoul, where she navigates love, loyalty, and ambition, while Chung-ho grows up with sort of passionate and fierce desire to protect Korea, protect his homeland, and he becomes involved with the resistance movement fighting for Korea's independence. And their lives intertwine when they're young, and then later with a host of other characters. So we have Korean revolutionaries, cruel Japanese officers, and various other characters, each with their own hopes and dreams and struggles and desires. And as the years pass, we see how the characters are influenced by both the political events and the personal choices that define their outcomes, that define their stories. Chong-ho's revolutionary spirit is tempered by the difficult realities of war, while Jade faces the challenge of balancing the independence that she desires with the demands of a strict world that wants to control her. And their relationship is intense and complicated, and it's filled with moments of love and sacrifice and betrayal. It's a very charming and gripping story, and it weaves together personal and historical narratives with incredible depth and sensitivity.
But you mentioned earlier that the book has been praised for its lyrical prose and rich imagery, right?
Right, sure. So I thought this was a deeply satisfying novel, a novel to get lost in. It's quite a long novel as well. And yes, it is. It's filled with vivid descriptions and poetic language. And Kim has a talent for bringing scenes to life. And she has a very skillful way of blending the natural world with the human story, and at times we see this imagery of Korea's mountains and rivers and the changing seasons and so on, as well as the depiction of Seoul, and this at times reflects her characters in her lives or the problems that they're experiencing and so on. So for example, Jade's journey from a young girl to a renowned courtesan mirrors the changing landscape around her, the changing seasons, and there's this constant push and pull between beauty and cruelty, or beauty and harshness. And I think her lyrical style makes you feel the weight of history, these historical events that the characters are living through. And it's this atmospheric storytelling that I think really pulls you into the lives of her characters and her overall story.
So from what you've been saying, this seems like a story about characters first and foremost, but there are broader themes at play as well, right? What sort of themes does Kim address, and how do they resonate with contemporary readers?
Right, sure. So, like we've said, there's this the historical setting, and what Kim is doing in Beasts of a Little Land is exploring universal themes. So, like I said, it's about survival, it's about resilience in the face of a harsh and cruel and at times uncaring environment, and it's also about the search for identity, or the struggle for identity. So the characters in the story, most of the characters, they all face some kind of struggle, some kind of extremely challenging issue that they have to grapple with through their life, and they have to show incredible strength and adapt and change, and this might feel especially relevant to some readers today. The novel also tackles issues of class and power and the impact of colonialism, and it's a story that asks readers, or invites readers, to reflect on how identity is shaped by both personal choices and sort of more powerful historical forces coming to bear on the individual. And at a time when, dare I say it, many are re-examining their own histories and identities, I think the book offers valuable insights into the complexity of those themes, but particularly within a Korean context.
So this book has been nominated for awards, it's been critically acclaimed, it's even travelled internationally, now winning this award in Russia. I know she has a second book coming out later this month, The City of Nightbirds, which I think many people will be curious to see as well. Today's book was Beasts of a Little Land by Juhea Kim, and that's all for our Korea Book Club this week. Barry, thank you for that review, and we'll catch up with you next time. Take care.
Okay, take care.